Many parents of teens and young adults these days are often at a loss to understanding their children. There's no gainsaying that the culture and environment in which these young people are growing today leave many parents asking themselves how and why did they get it wrong? Are we losing our young children to pop culture? Do we understand our children born in the last 25 years or so? And more importantly, do they think we understand them? On today's episode of The Moment Show with Pastor FUNKE, we'll be getting into the bottom of some of these issues. Hello, great fans of The Moment Show with Pastor FUNKE. I trust you're all doing well. Today's episode promises to be interesting and educative too. Now, before we discuss the topic of today, I want to tell you about a little exercise we did. Our team went to the streets to get the young generation's mindset on what they think about love and money. I want you to take a listen and also have a look.
Welcome to Moment on the Street, and on this episode we'll be asking a very interesting question. Between love and money, which would you go for and why? So stay tuned, don't go nowhere.
Well, for me, I think I should go for money.
Okay.
Yes, money. Because if you talk about love, without money, there's no love. Yes, that's for me. I'll go for money.
I'll go for money.
Okay, why?
Because to just shut up everything, with money you can get love. But some do go for love, sha. But me.
But you personally?
Personally, I go for money. Because with money, if you get a C1M, you no go love.
All right, so I've heard this from him. With money, you can get love. So stay tuned.
I choose love.
Tell them you choose love.
I choose love.
Okay, why?
Why? Because when there is love, there will be money, there will be caring, and that's all.
So you feel when there's love there, are you sure?
Yes.
Sometimes you can love and the money seems not,
No, it will be very okay.
So you will tarry.
When you go for money,
yes.
what if the money got finished? What will you do?
Hey.
Well, with me today to discuss this issue in detail are two amazing young ladies. They are wonderful ladies, and we are so happy and honored to have Dami and Joy in the studios.
Thank you.
Thank you. You both look amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the Moment Show. We really appreciate your coming here, and we have a wonderful audience that are here to support you, filled with genzs themselves. Now, before we go on, why don't you tell us one or two things about you? Dami, you first.
Okay, so my name is kasali. I'm a final year law student in my early 20s. I'm a Christian and a lover of God.
Excellent. Yes, let's clap for her. You're welcome, Dami.
Thank you. And my name is Joy George Obe. I'm 20 years old. I'm a computer science student, and I'm also a lover of God.
Wonderful. Well done. We have two amazing young women. Now, we're going to have a great time. Now, you saw the clip, right? Love or money. But before we go into that, I want to get into your minds on some of these issues. So let's look at this one. What is it with taking pictures of your meals and putting it on Snapchat? Because I don't get it. I do not get it, y'all. Why do you take pictures and put on Snapchat? Dami, you first.
I mean, it's pretty, it's aesthetically pleasing. I feel like as young people, while our lives are on the internet a lot of the time, so we like for our friends to see what we're eating, where we're going. And when something looks nice, I take a picture of it. I'm guilty, I can't lie.
You do it.
I do it a lot.
But how does that make you feel, Joy? When you put these things on social media, how does it make you feel?
I feel like I'm having an experience, and I just want to share that experience with the people on my social media, because food, as she said, is an aesthetic, and then you're going there for the experience and you just feel like sharing. I feel like you're trying to carry everyone along that's also on your social media as well.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, I never thought about that. But as you was both speaking, it occurred to me that your generation wants to connect.
Yeah.
It's pretty important for you people to feel like you're connecting, even if you're eating your meal some 5,000 kilometers away from where your friends are. You do want to connect and get other people into this. All right, Joy, what is it about selfies? I mean, for those who don't know, Demi is actually my daughter, and we call her the selfie queen in our family. So, Joy, why so many selfies?
Because you believe you look beautiful, like you look beautiful every day, but there are just some days you feel very confident in yourself and you would like to document it, like, okay, I always feel beautiful, but there are days when you may feel down or you may have self-doubt, and you go back and you look at it and you're like, okay, I am beautiful, I am confident in myself. In a way, as reassurance, I feel like.
And that's, thank you for both of you for being so open and honest about this, because it makes me feel like you guys do have a whole lot of pressures, that you're going to deal with. I'm going to go to you first, Joy. What are some of the pressures that you guys, Gen Zs, what are some of the pressures that you feel and you go through?
They're quite a bit, actually. Growing up with everybody saying it in your ears that you're the leaders of tomorrow, that you have to be the ones to, you have to be the ones to.
It puts pressure on you.
You have to be the ones to make Nigeria better. You have to be they put pressure on that. There's also societal pressure to do well and do well quickly, because a lot of people they're millionaires at 24, at 25, and then you're like, oh, if I haven't gotten to this point at this age, I'm a failure. Technically. And then there's also your mind and your body. You go on social media, and then there's a lot of people have body dysmorphia because a lot of people have had plastic surgeries, and then you don't look like this because you're natural, and it makes you have doubts about yourself, and all this clamor together with school, education, looking for jobs. It just becomes a lot.
Puts pressure on you. Demi, how have you been able to cope with these kinds of pressures?
Honestly, it's just God. If I'm going to be honest, it's difficult. But I would say that, firstly, you have to know yourself, and you have to love yourself. That's very important. Self-love and knowing yourself, and also God and praying. Like, if you know yourself, it's going to be hard for you to look at other people and want to be like them, or want to, act like them, or like, what I mean? Like, because you know who you are. And when you have God as well, for example, just like the example she gave about timing and like wanting to blow fast. Do you know what I mean? Everybody wants to blow quickly. If you know God, you know that God's time is the best time. And you know that everybody's journey is different, and your own will come by the grace of God.
Absolutely.
So I think loving yourself and giving yourself time to grow, I feel like that's the way that I have been able to cope.
Fantastic. Awesome. Now, I don't know who's out there, and you're a Gen Z or a millennial or the new generation, whatever it is. Listen, become self-aware. Know who God has made you to be. It's so vitally important. Now, I want to ask you, Demi, do you believe that money can buy happiness?
Okay, so I think this is an interesting one. Because I actually believe that happiness and, let me say, joy comes from Jesus or from God.
Yes.
Because obviously you can see people who don't have money, who are dancing on the street, even in the hot sun. They don't have nice clothes, but they're happy. They're happy, they're joyful. But I must say that money can buy you things that will make you happy, if you know what I mean. I think, I'm sorry we can be agreeing. The things that I want to do that will make me happy, that even if it's just for a short time, is money that will give it to me. I'm not going to lie to you.
Like what?
I mean, if I want to go out with my friends and, have a good time, we need money to pay for the things or to the place we're going. If I want to travel, if I want to go out, those things give me, they make me happy for that day or for that time. And it's really money and funds.
But Joy, do you understand that there's a difference between happiness and joy?
Yes.
Your joy. But can you tell, okay, this makes me happy, but this is not real joy? And you know where your joy comes from?
Because happiness is, most of the time, when we say like we get happiness for money, it's always temporary. Whereas joy that we associate with the joy God gives is that it's constant with no matter what trials or what you're facing at that point. Because happiness, unless happiness, which is joy, is given from God, it is fleeting. I'll go out with my friends, I'll have money, I'll have a nice time, I'll come back, I'll see something that upsets me, and ask God, what's life? The happiness is gone. But when joy is something that's always there, even when it seems like things are a bit difficult. Joy is always there.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so I want you to tell me, how do you define patience, Demi? How do you define patience? Because everybody's in a rush, and you both mentioned this. What's being patient? What does that mean?
As the Bible calls it, long suffering. I think patience is literally just the ability to endure. Do you know what I mean? To be able to sit down, wait, even when you don't want to, or you want something to come quick. I think it's just the ability to endure and suffer for longer.
Do you think Gen Zs are patient people?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think we're patient at all.
No, yeah, but it's something to work on. Okay, Joy, what about you? Define what success is.
Success, how I would call success is the value you have been able to create to the world, I would say. The value you've been able to give to the world. So there are a lot of people that are rich, but I wouldn't term them as successful because they haven't been of value to everyone else in the world. So that's what
Awesome. All right. Okay. You know what? We're going to take a short break and then we'll come back. Let's take a short break. Awesome. All right, let's welcome back our television audience. Okay, all right, so before we took the break, we were talking about values, and one thing about, of course, I grew up from a very different generation than you guys. So what do you think about the African traditional culture and the values? What do you think, Joy? What are your thoughts?
I feel like the African traditional values, I cannot deny how well it has shaped me growing up, but we can also not deny that there were a few things that I wish we could have done a bit differently in regards to that, I would say. But would I say the African traditional values? Yes, because they shape people morally, they shape your mindset of life. What we got mostly in my house, it was respect, it was integrity, and it was, love. It was a very big thing. And diligence. My dad would always tell you, whatever you find your hand to do it well. So that kind of mindset is very core in African values. So would I say that it's key? It is.
Yeah, awesome. So Demi, still on that issue of African culture. Now, one of our cultures, traditions and cultures in Africa is, the issue of respect, but particularly respect in treating elders and greeting. Because in the Western culture, people shake hands, people bump fists, so what do you think? Even now, as you're growing in this culture of westernization and information technology, what are your thoughts on the culture, the African culture of respect, and especially when it comes to greeting and treating elders?
I agree with Joy completely. Funny enough, I really appreciate African culture. I feel like if I didn't have that culture, that putting down, that setting down, I would not be the person I am today. And I feel like respect is very important. Maybe it's also because I'm a Yoruba girl, and everybody knows that the Yorubas, we love respect. So anywhere I go, I'm curtsying, I'm greeting, and yeah, I think it's very important. I think everybody, and I think even as the new generation, the young children, I think it's important that they learn those things too. You know, sometimes you see them, they're not as, you know, there's not a lot of pressure put on greeting these days. It's just like, oh, hi, auntie, hi, uncle. But before, I remember, even my mom, you would tell me, you know, kneel down. Is that how to greet? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he taught me how to respect elders. And I feel like we should also learn to respect our peers as well, because I feel like that's something that was not really taught and focused on actually growing
Yeah,
up.
awesome. Well done, excellent. Okay, so now you're young ladies, you know, 20s, early 20s, and you're carrying on. How would you raise your children? What will you draw on? Because your children, as you, but even much more so, you know, these days, 2, 3-year-olds, they have phones, tabs, and stuff. How would you raise your children when you become mothers, by God's grace?
Amen.
Joy, let's go with you.
Well, I would say similar to how my parents raised me.
Really?
But such that there would be a couple of changes that I would say, not that they didn't do a phenomenal job, but there are we work based on what we've been taught, and what I've been taught is good. But of course, there are things to improve on, such that, you know, I feel like explanation would have been very, very key when we were younger, because we grew up with "because I said so." So
That's right. That's right.
So explanations would help as well with that, but very similar to how we grew up, but giving understanding to reasons why you say this, because they tell us things, but we don't necessarily understand.
Right.
So giving understanding.
More understanding. Now, I must confess that there were a number of times that I said to Demi and our brother, "Oh, mommy, but why?" Because mommy said so.
Yeah.
You know, and I expected that to be enough. Demi, how about you? How would you raise your children? And I know today, and I don't want to put you on the spot because, you know, there's all this thing about the UN and the, you know, corporal punishment issues. You know, how would you raise your children in terms of culture? You know, even if you were living abroad, let's say, you know, how would you maneuver that?
Just like Joy said, I would be very similar to how my parents raised me, actually, but I would actually change a couple of things.
Would you tell us?
The things I would change?
Yes.
As Joy said, I think communication and actually wanting to understand a bit more. And I feel like giving them room to grow as themselves. So I feel like I would want my children to grow as themselves, to go out there and adventure things by themselves and not, you know, what I want them. Okay, I want my daughter to be a lawyer. I'm not going to make her that. I feel like a lot of people have that problem where they don't even know themselves because their parents' wishes have been put on them. So I think those are two things that I would do differently. But I would still discipline them. Still give a smack.
Yeah.
Give a smack or two.
I mean, it's biblical. So
It is biblical.
It's
yeah.
biblical, yes. Spare the rod and spoil
spoil
the
the
child.
child.
So both of you would still draw from that which you had been given and you've been put through as children. Awesome. I just want to ask you very quickly, Demi, what's the most embarrassing thing that your parents ever did to you as you grew up? What's the most embarrassing?
Most embarrassing. I feel like it's just sometimes it's the shouting in public. I feel like that is the one that gets me the most, because a lot of things I actually find them cute, you know, the embarrassing stuff that people think, but I think it's embarrassing when I'm outside with my friends.
Do you all find the same way, our audience? Yes.
Hallelujah.
Okay, Joy is shaking her head. What about you, Joy? The most embarrassing thing that your parents ever did to you as you were growing?
The most embarrassing thing would probably be them saying the things like, let's say I did something wrong at home, and then you would vocalize it when I would be with my friends. And you'd be like, Joy, you did this. And I'm like, can we do this at home, please? Can we do this in private,
closed doors?
in closed doors? So I would say, like, if you're correcting me, can you correct me inside? Don't correct me outside, because it now looks like, oh my God, Joy is actually a bad kid. Wow.
Okay, and I guess I do understand, you know. So, but listen, time is so against us. But I know that you ladies are going to come back to the Moment Show for the second part of this because it's been so fun. The audience, do we agree? Do we agree? Awesome. Thank you both so very much for being my guests. You are wonderful ladies. You are going places, and we're all proud of you. So thank you very much. We'll be right back. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Well done. All right, now we're going to go to our Ask segment in today's show. And as always, over to you, Ola.
Wow, what an explosive session.
Yes.
I'm very sure the members of the audience have some questions, ma.
Yes.
Ransom, do you want to go to your question, please?
Yes. Okay, there is a norm that have almost crept into our society or our culture, whereby parents go to the school to harass the teachers for disciplining their children. So what can you advise our parents that are watching you and even the children that are watching you, ma?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. That's a wonderful question. Look, for all those guys who don't know, who are here, that are parents, and those who are watching us from home, listen, it really does take a village to raise a child. Truly. If you try to do everything by yourself, your children will miss out. Teachers are, after parents, the primary caregivers for children. We entrust them. Many of our children, in their waking moment, they spend more time in school than they do at home during week. So how many days are they with you at home? Saturdays and Sundays. And then evenings when you come home. It's a wrong practice. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go and say what has happened. Right? But when they discipline your children, unless they are really harming them and hurting them, discipline of the children is part of the work of teachers. I think it's so wrong. Please don't do it, parents. Please allow the teachers to talk to them.
Thank you so much, Ma. I just wanted to throw more light on the place of teaching this young generation to be patient, because it is very, very important in life. How can we as parents really teach them to understand that place of patience?
All right. Awesome question, Bisayo. Thank you. Look, I think that, as they said, when Demi and Joy were here, that patience is an issue for them because so many people are putting... We parents, we put the pressure. We push them into school, right? We tell them, don't stay for primary 6. Jump from primary 6 to form 1. Then you expect them to be patient. You just taught them to be impatient. What is wrong with them taking their time to go through school and following as their brain is developed? We push them. They don't pass. You go and tell the school, make them pass. We teach them. So if you want to teach your child patience, model it for them.
Absolutely.
Act patiently for them, and they will know the importance of it.
Model patience. Thank you very much, man, for that. In a society of like ours, where insecurity and ritual, so on and so forth, corruption has become a normal thing in the society. How, and this has a negative impact on child development. How do we help the young ones who are coming up to be able to see corruption and insecurity as a fatal issue in our society?
Yes, thank you. Wonderful question, Emmanuel. Look, it's in the place of teaching. And it's in the place of us not doing it. When you go to your school and you force them by giving them money to take your child and promote the child who has already failed, yes, but you still tell them, they will manage. You've just acted incorruptly. When you pay somebody to do their exams for them, you just taught them that corruption is good. The truth is, corruption starts from home. It starts from home. You stop it, they will stop it. They will stop it.
Thank you very much, ma. Then the final question. Mrs. Abimbola.
Thank you so much, Ma. I have a question. What are the things that should guide a child in choosing a course, a path in life? Before they choose science or art, is it their skills? Is it what parents tell them that they're good at? Or is it the passion they have concerning something? What exactly?
Thank you. Very excellent questions. Look, it is passion. And I know people that have said, go and study medicine. And this child will be great as a counselor or a psychologist. But the parents tell them, because I want to be my child to be the first doctor in this family. Let's stop pushing them. Not that we don't guide them, we don't advise them, but let's help them identify what their giftings are, what their passion is, and guide them. But let's teach them, especially young adults. Pray. This is what you're good at. You don't have maybe the thing for engineering. There's nothing wrong with you being an accountant. There's nothing wrong with you being a psychologist, as long as you can add value to the society that you're in. That's what I say. Okay, thank you. Thank you, our studio audience. I'm afraid we're out of time. What can I say? But listen, we'll be back again very soon. Now, look, if you're at home and you've been struggling with some of the issues, pressures, maybe internet bullying, whatever, I don't know, there is help available for you. You can reach out to us. Our numbers are being displayed on your screen right now. We can help you. Please don't give up. Don't feel that there is no help. There is help available for you. And I pray for you, and I pray for you all and all of you here, that the good Lord will keep you all, and the Lord will strengthen you, give you peace, and help you to move on to great people that God has destined you to be, in Jesus' name. Now, as always, before we go away again and end this show, we're always blessed to have such wonderful, anointed, and gifted people in our studio. And today, to give us a wonderful time of worship, is a wonderful man, is a singer, a recording artist, is a praise worship leader, and a man that is so filled with the Spirit of the Lord. Help me to welcome Ima Sings. As always,
all my life you have been faithful. You have been so good with every breath that I am able. I will sing of the goodness. I will sing of the goodness. I will sing of the goodness